I still remember the sound of her laugh. It wasn't loud. It was sharp, like glass breaking. "Wait," Mira said, crossing her arms. "You lost your savings?" "All of it." "Yeah," I replied quietly. "The investment failed. I'll recover, but I need time." She leaned back on the sofa, nails clicking on her phone. "So you're broke." "I wouldn't call it that," I said. "I just need a few months to sort things out." She smiled without warmth. "A few months? Ayaan rent doesn't wait for feelings." My throat tightened. "I'm still working." "You know that? At that tiny position?" She snorted. "You said you'd be promoted by now. You promised we'd upgrade our lifestyle. How am I supposed to plan a wedding if you can't even plan your finances?" Her words hit harder than I expected. I forced a small smile. "I thought marriage was about love." She laughed again. "Love is cute in stories. In real life, love doesn't pay the bills." I looked at her and wondered when she'd started sounding like a stranger. "Mira, I'll handle everything." "I just don't make excuses, Ayaan," she interrupted. "A man who can't provide is just a boy." That word boy echoed. I stared at the floor. The old wristwatch my mother gave me ticked against my skin like it pitied me. "Maybe you should take a break," she continued. "Figure yourself out before dragging me down." "Dragging you down," I whispered. "So that's what I am to you now." She didn't answer. She scrolled through her phone, eyes lighting up when a message popped up. I saw the name Ayaan. "You're texting him again?" I asked. "He's a friend," she said quickly. "Unlike some people, he actually gets things done." I stood up slowly. "I didn't think success changed you this much." "Success didn't change me," she said. "Failure changed you." For a second, I wanted to tell her everything, the truth, that I wasn't some broke analyst, but the silent owner of the company she bragged about working for. That every glass wall, every glowing screen in that building existed because of my decisions and my mother's investment before she passed. But I stayed quiet. The truth would sound like pride right now. "Mira," I said softly, "what would you do if money disappeared forever?" She frowned. "What kind of question is that?" "Just answer." "I'd survive," she said, brushing her hair back. "But I'd never settle for less." I nodded. "That's what I thought," she sighed, impatient. "Are we done?" "I have a dinner meeting with Ayaan." She didn't deny it. "He's helping me with a proposal." "Don't be insecure." I forced a smile. "Right? I'll stop being insecure about my fiancé having dinner with another man." "Don't twist it," she said. "You're being dramatic." "Maybe," I replied, "but at least I'm honest about what I feel." She grabbed her purse and stood. "When you get serious about your life, call me." When the door shut, the apartment went quiet except for the ticking of that watch. I stared at the cheap ring on the table, the one I'd bought from a small shop where the old jeweler said, "Love doesn't need weight, son. It needs meaning." Maybe he was wrong. Maybe Mira needed both. My phone buzzed. "Heh. Bro, you sound like death," he said. She laughed. I whispered, "Who?" "Mira?" I told her about the money. She laughed. There was silence, then his deep sigh. "I told you she cared too much about status. You didn't want to believe me?" "I had to be sure," I said. "I wanted to see her heart when the lights went off." "And what did you see?" "Nothing," I said. "Just her reflection walking away." He muttered a curse. "Walk away, Ayaan. You don't owe her your pride."
I know.
"But it still hurts." "Pain's fine. Losing yourself isn't. Listen, come over. We'll eat something. Watch a game." "I can't tonight," I said. "I need to think." He paused. "You're not planning some revenge stunt, are you?" I laughed softly. "No, I just need clarity." "Clarity's easier with kebabs and friends." "Maybe tomorrow," I said. "Fine. But promise me one thing. Don't chase someone who sees your worth only when you shine." "I promise," I said, though I wasn't sure I meant it. After the call, I sat on the couch. The room dim, except for the streetlight sneaking through the window. I turned the watch face toward me. Its hands kept moving like time refused to pity anyone. I whispered, I'm not broke. I'm just tired of proving myself. The silence answered back. Somewhere outside, a car horn echoed. Maybe Rayan's fancy one. I smiled bitterly. Let them have their dinner. Let her think I'm small. The truth doesn't need to shout. It just waits for its turn. I placed the ring inside the box and shut it gently. Tomorrow, I told myself, we start seeing people for who they are, not what they pretend to love. The watch ticked again steady, calm, merciless. Time moved on. So would I asterisk the office smelled like burnt coffee and ambition? I was fixing a spreadsheet when I heard Mira's laugh echo near the elevators. I looked up and saw Rayan leaning against the wall, grinning like he owned the place. Morning, Mira, he said. New perfume? Smells expensive, she smiled. You notice everything. I only notice what's worth noticing. Their voices carried. I stared back at my screen, pretending formulas mattered more than my heartbeat. Hey, Ayaan, Rayan called across the lobby. Got the Q3 report ready? Or are you still counting coins? A few people laughed. I closed my laptop slowly. Almost done. Accuracy takes time, he smirked. Yeah. Don't work too hard. It's not good for your health. Mira brushed past him. Ignore him, she whispered to me. I'm used to noise, I said. Her expression flickered. You don't have to act tough all the time. I'm not acting, I replied. Before she could answer, Lena from HR appeared beside me. Ayaan, can I borrow you for a second? We walked toward the corridor lined with framed awards. She lowered her voice. Careful with Rayan. He's got friends on the executive floor, I've noticed, I've said. He treats people like background props, Lena sighed. He gets away with it because he delivers numbers. But his team's expenses are suspicious. Keep your head low. I'm already under the radar, I said. Can't get much lower. She smiled faintly. That's what I like about you. You observe before you act. When I returned to my desk, Mira was gone. Rayan stood there, flipping through the printed report I'd left. Nice work, he said, pretending to compliment me. Maybe someday you'll run a department if we still have one left after your calculations. I snatched the file gently from his hand. Thanks for the feedback. Relax, man, he said, raising his hands. I'm just motivating you. By insulting me? It works for some people, not for me. He chuckled and walked off, loud as ever. My phone buzzed. Mr. Saad Farouk had texted, Board wants Q3 cleanup. Keep observing. I locked my screen and took a breath. Keep observing, I repeated under my breath. That's what I was best at, watching quietly while the truth revealed itself. Around noon, Noor, a junior designer, approached my desk with a hesitant smile. Hi, sir. I mean Anand. You helped me last week with that presentation. I wanted to say thanks. You don't have to thank me, I said. You did the real work. Aye. She shook her head. You fixed my slide titles. The client noticed. No one usually helps. Everyone's busy chasing credit, I said. She grinned. You're different. Different isn't always noticed, I replied. She tilted her head. It will be. People remember kindness. Her words stayed with me longer than I expected. After lunch, I saw Rayan again, this time bragging to Mira about his new car. Imported from Germany, he said loudly enough for the whole floor to hear. 0 to 100 in 5 seconds. You should see the leather. Maybe I will, Mira said, twirling her hair. Rayan caught my glance. Don't worry, Ayaan. I'll give you a ride someday if you can afford the fuel. I smiled. I'll walk. Keeps me grounded, he laughed, pleased with himself. By evening, I was done compiling the cost overrun data. The numbers screamed corruption, but I kept them quiet inside my folder. The truth would surface in its own time. Mira called me as I walked out. You left early. At 7, I said. That's not early. Rayan said he saw you staring. You jealous? No, I said calmly. Just observing. She sighed. He's ambitious, Ayaan. You could learn from that. Ambition without ethics is just greed, I said. She laughed softly. You and your moral speeches. You should write a book. Maybe I will. Chapter 1. Cars don't prove character. She went silent. You're upset. Not upset, I said. Just disappointed. He's helping me with networking. That's what we call it now. Maybe, I said. But I've learned to read people before I lose them. She exhaled, tired of the conversation. I'll call you later. Rayan's new car roared out of the parking lot, Mira laughing in the passenger seat. The city lights blurred on the windshield of a passing bus, and for a moment, I saw my reflection calm, invisible, patient. Hamza's voice from last night echoed in my mind. Don't chase someone who only sees your worth when you shine, I whispered to myself. The phone buzzed again, another message from Saad. Don't react, watch. I pocketed the phone, tightened my grip on my worn-out briefcase, and smiled faintly. I'm watching, I murmured. Every move, every lie. Somewhere behind me, laughter burst from the office lounge. I didn't need to look back. Let the golden boy have his moment. His shine was borrowed light. Mine was coming. Mira stood in front of the mirror, holding a magazine open to a glittering page. Look at this ring, she said. It's elegant, not too flashy. Just perfect. I looked at the price tag and felt my chest tighten. That's more than our rent for 6 months, she shrugged. You only get engaged once. Don't tell me you want to stay cheap forever. I'm not being cheap, I said. I'm being responsible. Responsible or broke. She snapped. Because it's starting to feel the same. I took a slow breath. I already bought a ring. You said you liked it. That was before I saw this one. Before you saw Rain's girlfriend's ring, you mean? Her eyes narrowed. Why are you bringing him up? Because everything you compare me to lately starts with his name. She laughed coldly. Don't be jealous. It's unattractive. I'm not jealous, I said quietly. I'm disappointed. She tossed the magazine on the couch. You're impossible sometimes. I'm trying to plan a wedding, and you're acting like a monk. We can have a simple ceremony, I said. Something meaningful, not showy. Meaningful doesn't get likes on Instagram, Ayaan. Her words stung more than they should have. I rubbed the back of my neck. So now we're marrying for followers. Don't twist everything, she said. You just don't understand what it means to build an image. I forced a smile. I understand image. I just don't worship it. She rolled her eyes and checked her phone. Anyway, Rain's calling. I need to answer. Of course, I muttered. She paused at the door. Don't start drama. He's helping me pick a photographer for the pre-wedding shoot. I asked, when did that become a thing? It's always been a thing, she said. You'd know if you cared enough to plan anything. Maybe I'm too busy earning for what you're planning, I said. Then don't waste my time, she said flatly, and walked out. The door clicked shut. I stared at it for a long time before whispering noted. I sat on the couch, the magazine open beside me. The diamonds sparkled under the light like it was mocking me. I pressed my thumb against the page until it wrinkled. At work the next day, I buried myself in numbers. The marketing invoices didn't line up. One vendor billed twice for the same ad run. Another sent payments to an unlisted address. Rayan's name kept appearing in the approval chain. I called the finance desk. Hey, can you resend the original invoices for last quarter? The assistant replied, Rayan said he'd handle it. All right, I said. Just send me a copy anyway. Sure thing. But don't tell him I did. Your secret's safe. I downloaded everything and renamed the files. Summer_budget, client_gift, ad_revisions. Ode names. Quiet. Forgettable. As I saved the last one, my phone buzzed. Hurrah. Bye. Are you okay? She asked. You sound tired lately. I'm fine, I said automatically. You always say that before something's wrong, she said. Talk to me. There's nothing to talk about. Did you and Mira fight again? I smiled faintly. When don't we? Bye, she hesitated. You know, love isn't supposed to feel like begging. Her words sat heavy in the silence. I'm not begging, I said softly. I'm just holding on. Don't hold on to someone who makes you doubt yourself, she said. Promise me that. I promise. I lied. She sighed. Come home for dinner soon, okay? Mama keeps asking for you.
Soon.
I said. Tell her I'm working late. After the call, I leaned back in my chair. The office lights flickered above me, humming like restless thoughts. My watch ticked louder than usual, each second like a heartbeat. At 11 p.m., I finally shut down the laptop. My inbox had one new message, Mira. Maybe we should take a break. I stared at it for a full minute before typing. Let's talk in person. The typing dots appeared, disappeared, then nothing. I waited. The dots never came back. I whispered. So this is how silence sounds when love dies.
Nice.
I pulled my sleeve back and looked at the old watch-it-scratched glass, its dull silver frame. My mother used to say it brought luck. Tonight it just felt heavy, like a reminder of time wasted on people who never valued patience. I walked to the window, city lights blinking below. Somewhere out there, Mira was probably laughing again, maybe with him. I said quietly to myself, keep laughing. The story's not over yet. The watch ticked once more steady, cold, unbothered. I tightened the strap. If she could trade hearts for luxury, then I'd trade silence for purpose. Tomorrow, I'd start collecting more than files. I'd start collecting truth. Asterisk, the night air smelled like perfume and arrogance. I stepped onto the rooftop and saw Mira surrounded by flashing smiles and half-empty glasses. Ayaan stood beside her, too close for comfort. She waved at me. Oh, Ayaan, you made it. I smiled politely. You invited me. I figured that meant I should show up. Of course, she said, brushing imaginary dust off my sleeve. Everyone, this is Ayaan, a friend from the office.
Right?
The word cut deeper than any insult. Ayaan grinned. Ah, the famous analyst. You're the guy who's always buried in spreadsheets, right? I like numbers, I said. They don't lie, he laughed. You'd be surprised. Numbers can be massaged if you know how to touch them right. I memorized that word massaged. A woman in a gold dress leaned in. Mira, your friend's very serious? Doesn't he ever relax? Mira sipped her drink. He's just shy, quiet, not shy, I corrected, smiling slightly. Ayaan smirked. Same thing, when you don't make money. Laughter erupted again. I took a sip of water instead of answering. The bubbles stung my throat more than their jokes. Someone pointed at my shoes. Vintage. They asked, laughing. Thrift store. Ayaan answered for me. He's humble like that. I looked at him and said evenly, humble isn't a flaw. It's proof I don't need credit cards to feel big. The laughter stopped for a second. Mira cleared her throat, forcing a smile. Let's not get too serious. We're here to celebrate. Celebrate what? I asked. Ayaan's new car. Someone shouted. He just bought a convertible. Ayaan grinned. You should see it, Ayaan. Maybe I'll give you a ride someday, if you promise not to analyze the fuel efficiency. I'll try, I said. But I like facts, not fantasies. He raised his glass. Facts are boring. Life is about taking risks. Some people take risks with money, I said quietly. Others take them with morals. The silence after that was brief, but sharp. Mira quickly laughed to break it. He's joking. Ayaan's always like this, too deep for parties. I forced a smile. Yeah, guess I didn't get the memo about acting rich. Her smile faltered, then she turned away. I watched her laugh with Ayaan again, touching his arm lightly. Every gesture looked rehearsed, like a play I didn't audition for. A man beside me whispered, Tough crowd, huh? I've seen worse, I said. This one just dresses better, he chuckled and drifted away. Minutes later, someone clinked a glass. A toast, Mira's friend announced, to ambition, love, and success. Mira lifted her glass, and to knowing what you want, to not settling for less. Ayaan leaned toward her, smiling like he owned the sentence. Then she added, Some people dream small, and that's okay. Not everyone's meant for big things. All eyes turned toward me. Even the city noise seemed to fade. I smiled calmly. Dreams are fine, I said. But waking up is harder. Few people exchanged awkward glances. Someone muttered deep, Mira rolled her eyes. Always the philosopher. I set my glass down. I should go already, she said. The night's young. So am I said. I'd rather spend it somewhere people remember names correctly. She frowned. You're being dramatic again. Maybe, I said softly, but at least I'm not pretending. Rayan chuckled. Don't take it personal, man. We're just joking around. I know, I said. That's what makes it sad. I walked to the edge of the rooftop. The city stretched out beneath me, thousands of windows glowing, some warm, some hollow. I leaned on the railing, breathing in the mix of rain and cigarette smoke. Behind me, laughter resumed louder than before, as if my absence made the air lighter. I didn't mind. The silence inside me was worth more. My phone buzzed. Hamza. Still sure she's the one? I stared at the message. For a long moment, I didn't type anything. Then I opened the small ring box in my pocket. The cheap silver glinted under the lights, stubbornly honest. I typed back, no, but I needed to be sure. Hamza replied instantly, then be done. Dignity first. I closed the box slowly and whispered, dignity first. The city blurred below as my eyes burned. I wasn't crying. I was just tired of pretending, tired of waiting for loyalty in people who only respected price tags. I straightened my tie, exhaled, and looked once more at the glowing skyline. Let her chase her gold, I muttered. I'll build mine from truth. The wind picked up, carrying laughter behind me and silence ahead. I walked toward the exit, each step lighter than the last. The ring stayed in my pocket, still cheap, still honest, just like the man she'd chosen to overlook. The office was quiet except for the hum of printers and my heartbeat. I opened the expense logs again. Numbers didn't lie, but people did. Ghost vendors? I whispered. Let's see who's haunting this place. Invoices repeated under different names, same address, same signature. I clicked through each one, tracing them to Rayan's department. I muttered. Inflated impressions, fake creatives, and consulting fees that lead nowhere. Impressive fraud, golden boy? Lena stopped by my desk. Still here? Couldn't sleep, I said. She leaned closer. Careful, Ayaan. There are whispers about promotions next week. Rayan's name is on top. And let him enjoy the climb, I said. The fall hurts more from up there, Alina frowned. You're planning something. I'm planning the truth, I said. Nothing else. Her voice softened. Just don't go alone against him. He's got friends in senior management. 2 of them, I said. I've seen the signatures. She blinked. You found proof already? Not yet, I said. But I'm close. My phone buzzed a message from Mr. Saad Farouk. Meet me at the cafe. Bring nothing visible. I closed the laptop, slipped a flash drive into my pocket, and walked out. The cafe smelled like roasted beans and old secrets. Saad sat in the corner, calm as always, stirring tea like it held answers. You look tired, said. I've been chasing shadows. Shadows are just truths without light, he replied. What did you find? Vendor duplication, overbilling, kickbacks labeled as creative consulting, all connected to Rayan's team and to senior managers Khalid and Zafar. He raised an eyebrow. Names already? You work fast. I work quietly. Good, he said. But don't expose them yet. Let the net tighten. The board will need a full picture, not half a scandal. I hate waiting, I said. Patience wins wars, Saad replied. Anger only burns the general. I nodded. And Mira? He gave a small sigh. Still with him? She says he's helping her career. Saad looked up. And what do you say? I say she's confusing help with hunger, I said. He smiled sadly. Then let time show her the difference. Focus on the evidence. You sound too calm for someone who knows corruption's right under his nose. I've seen worse, he said. But I've also seen good men ruin their case by moving too soon. Don't be one of them. I exhaled. Fine, I'll collect more. Do that, he said, standing. And Ayaan stay invisible. I'm used to that. Back at the office, Noor appeared with a stack of folders. Hey, I think this one's yours. Accidentally printed an old layout? Thanks, I said, flipping through. Between colored charts, an email thread caught my eye. Ran bragging. I practically own the marketing pipeline. Even the managers take cues from me. I looked up. Noor, where did this come from? She frowned. I was organizing campaign feedback. Must have slipped in. You didn't read it? Only the first line, she said quickly. Did I do something wrong? No, I said, smiling faintly. You did something very right. Her shoulders relaxed. I just want the company to be better, you know. People like Ryan make others look small. You have good eyes, I said. Keep using them, she blushed.
Thanks.
Not many people notice effort here. I notice, I said. Always. After she left, I saved the thread to my personal drive, labeling it Pulse Point Internal Set. See one more nail in Ryan's golden coffin. Lena walked by again. Still digging? Just polishing my future, I said. Be careful, she murmured. People disappear around here when they ask too many questions. I don't disappear, I said. I document. She gave me a knowing look and walked off. That night, the apartment felt colder. My laptop screen glowed with open files, redents arranged like chess pieces waiting for checkmate. I scrolled through Mira's social feed. New dress, new smile, new dinner spot. Ryan's car reflected in the glass behind her. A message appeared from her. Ryan says he can help my career. Should I take his offer? I typed, do what feels right. Deleted it, typed, if it makes you happy? Deleted that too. Finally, I wrote, I hope you choose what makes you proud. The typing dots appeared, vanished, reappeared, then nothing. I whispered, silence again, familiar. I closed the laptop and stared at my old watch. The second hand ticked steady, patient, merciless. Every click reminded me truth takes time, but it never hides forever. Tomorrow, I'd keep digging. And soon the ghosts I found would have names. The living room smelled like rose petals and judgment. Mira's family sat around a glass table, smiling like they were hosting a business meeting. Her father cleared his throat. Ayaan, good to see you. Mira wanted to give everyone an update. Update? I asked. On what? Mira's fingers tapped her phone. On us? She said. I think we should be honest tonight. Something inside me shifted. Honest is good. Go ahead. She glanced at her cousin Alina, who gave a smug little nod. Mira said, I've been thinking a lot, and I realized I need stability. A partner who can match my lifestyle, my pace, my goals. I looked straight at her. And you think I can't? She hesitated. Hard-working Ayaan. But your situation right now? My situation? I interrupted. You mean the one where I choose simplicity over showing off? Her uncle laughed awkwardly. No need to get defensive, son. Mira just wants security. I nodded slowly. Security's fair. I just thought love was part of that. Mira looked away. Love doesn't pay the rent. I smiled bitterly. You've been spending too much time with Ryan. Gasps rippled across the table. Alina smirked. You sound jealous. I turned to her. No, just observant. Mira's mother spoke softly. Let's not make a scene. There's no scene, I said. Only truth. Mira crossed her arms. You're twisting my words. Just hearing them clearly, I replied. She leaned forward. You know what? Maybe we rushed things. Maybe we're not right for each other. I felt my heart slow down instead of breaking. Maybe we're not, I said. Her father cleared his throat again. These conversations are tough, but it's better to be honest now. Mira nodded. Exactly. I just need someone who matches my vision. Your vision of what? I asked quietly. A showroom relationship? Alina snorted. Dream bigger, Ayaan. Don't take it personally. I reached into my jacket pocket and placed the small ring box on the table. The sound it made was louder than any argument, I said. Return it if you ever feel I was enough.
Oh.
No one spoke. Even the ceiling fan seemed to stop. Mira's lips parted slightly. You don't have to be dramatic. I'm not, I said. I'm being precise. Lena leaned back, whispering to Mira, "Told you." I looked at her and said, "You'll be happy to know you were right. She deserves exactly the life you keep selling her." Her cheeks reddened. "You don't belong in our circle anyway," I smiled. "That's the best thing anyone's said to me tonight." Mira stood up, voice trembling. "So, that's it? You're just walking away?" "I'm not walking," I said. "I'm freeing myself." Her father tried to soften the tension. "Ayaan, you're a good man. Don't end this in anger." "I'm not angry," I said. "I'm grateful. Some truths deserve daylight." I picked up my coat and turned toward the door. "Good luck with your vision, Mira." She whispered something I couldn't hear. Maybe it was my name, maybe not. I didn't look back. Outside, the night felt cleaner than the air inside. My car keys shook in my hand, but not from fear, just release. Across the street, I saw Hira waiting near the gate. She must have guessed something. She ran to me. "Bye, what happened?" "You look pale." I laughed quietly. Nothing happened. Everything finally made sense. She frowned. "Did she say something?" "Enough," I said. "Enough to remind me who I am." Her eyes softened. "You don't deserve this, Bye." "No one does," I said. "But sometimes heartbreak is the only teacher that works." She hugged me tightly. "You'll find someone better." "I'm not looking," I said. "I'm building." "Building what?" "Peace," I whispered. She smiled sadly. "That suits you more than love." We stood there for a moment, quiet, under the yellow streetlight. My phone buzzed in my pocket. "Lena? Hello?" I answered. Her voice was brisk. "Ayaan, heads up. There's going to be a surprise executive audit next week. Keep your data clean and ready." My pulse steadied. "Finally," she said. "This could expose everything Rain's been hiding." I looked at Hira and nodded to myself. "Good," I said. "It's time someone saw the real numbers." "You sound different." "I feel different," I said. "Like pain just turned into fuel." She laughed softly. "Whatever that means, keep it up. We'll need your focus." "Don't worry," I said. "Focus is all I have left." When the call ended, I slipped my phone into my pocket. The ring box was gone, left behind where it belonged. I whispered to myself, "Tonight she chose luxury. I'll choose legacy." Hira looked at me curiously. "What did you say?" "Nothing," I said with a small smile. "Just a promise to myself." As we walked to the car, the wind brushed against my face, cool and new. For the first time, the pain inside me didn't drag, it pushed. I wasn't broken anymore. I was becoming sharp. The morning air in the office was thick with whispers. The audit team had arrived for people in gray suits carrying silence like a weapon. I watched them step into the boardroom with Saad at the lead. Lena passed by my desk and whispered, "This is it, isn't it?" "Almost," I said. "Let's see who sweats first." When Rayan walked in, he greeted everyone like a host at his own party. "Morning, everyone. Big day, huh? Don't worry, auditors love me." I smiled. "They'll get to know you better soon." He shot me a suspicious look. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing," I said. "Just conversation." Inside the boardroom, the chairman gestured for us to sit. "Let's keep this professional," he said. "We'll review the findings and give everyone a chance to speak." Saad opened a folder. "We examined vendor transactions for the last 3 quarters. There are several inconsistencies." Rayan laughed nervously. "Every company has inconsistencies. That's why we have creative departments, right?" Saad's tone stayed calm. "These inconsistencies involve payments to shell companies, matching personal addresses of employees within your division." The room went still. Rayhan adjusted his tie. "That's ridiculous. Do you have proof?" Saad nodded to me. "Mr. Khan?" I stood, opening my laptop. "Here," I said, clicking through the files. "Vendor 1 Lumos Media, registered at this address." I paused, turning the screen so everyone could see. "Same as your friend's apartment, Rayan." He forced a grin. "Coincidence?" "Vendor 2 Insight works," I continued. "Linked to another contact you referred personally." "That's not illegal," he said sharply. "Not illegal," I agreed. "But unethical when those companies bill us for non-existent campaigns." Lena spoke up. I cross-checked his team's approvals. Every fraudulent invoice was signed during his overseas trips. Someone else submitted them using his access. Rehan snapped. That's impossible. She didn't blink. The timestamps say otherwise. The chairman leaned back. Mr. Rayan, any explanation? He looked around the table, his confidence slipping. Someone's framing me. Probably him, pointed at me. Ayaan's had it out for me since day one. If that were true, I'd have exposed this months ago. I waited because I wanted the system to see it, not me. Saad placed another document on the table. Additionally, Noor from Design saved original campaign drafts before Rayan's edits. The altered versions inflated ad impressions. Rayan slammed his hand on the table. You're all working together? I met his glare. No, Rayan. We just started paying attention. The chairman raised his hand. Enough. Mr. Ayaan, you've been unusually silent until now. Why take such an interest in this? I took a breath. My palms didn't shake. Because I've seen what corruption does from the inside. And because this company isn't just where I work, it's mine. The room murmured. Rayan laughed dryly. What are you talking about? I straightened. My full name is Ayaan Rahim Khan. My late mother's family trust owns a majority share of Vantage Dynamics. I joined quietly as an analyst to understand why profits were vanishing despite growing revenue. The chairman blinked. You're telling us yes? I said. I chose silence until I saw the truth clearly. Now you all see it too. Rian's face drained of color. You're lying. If that were true, why hide it? Because masks reveal people faster than introductions, I said, and you revealed yourself perfectly.
Out.
Lena exhaled softly. Saad gave a faint nod. The chairman turned to Rayan. The evidence is overwhelming. Pending investigation, you and the two managers will be suspended effective immediately. Rayan stood up suddenly. You can't do this. I built the entire marketing wing. Saad replied, then you'll have plenty of time to think about how it collapsed. Security stepped in quietly. Rayan's voice cracked. You planned this? I cut him off. No, Rayan. You planned your downfall when you thought no one was watching. He glared at me one last time before storming out. The door closed behind him with a dull thud. The chairman looked at me. Mr. Khan, why didn't you tell us who you were earlier? I smiled faintly. Because I wanted to know if integrity still had value here. He nodded slowly. It does today. Lena turned to me. So what happens now? We rebuild, I said. But this time, from the ground up with people who earn, not steal. She smiled. That's one way to run a company. Saad placed a hand on my shoulder. You handled it well. Quiet truth makes the loudest noise. I looked at the empty chair where Rayan had sat minutes ago. Noise fades, I said. Proof doesn't. As the meeting ended, I stood alone for a moment, feeling the weight of the room shift. For the first time in months, silence didn't feel like defeat. It felt like power, and this time it was mine. The news spread faster than I expected. By noon, every corridor buzzed with whispers suspended. Managers under audit, fake vendors exposed. I was reviewing final reports when the elevator doors burst open. Mira stepped out, face pale, eyes wet. Ayaan, she said, voice trembling. Please, can we talk? I closed the laptop slowly. About work or history? Don't do that, she said. I didn't come to argue. I gestured toward the chair. Then talk. She sat down, clutching her purse like a life raft. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. You didn't mean what exactly? She swallowed. The way things ended. The things I said. I was scared of what? Of poverty, she said, her voice cracking. Of struggling again. You know how my family is? They measure love by comfort. I leaned back. So you sold your piece for approval? She wiped her tears. I just wanted stability. You found it in the wrong arms. Her face twisted. You think I loved him? I didn't, Rayan was. He made promises I wanted to believe. You didn't ask what he wanted in return. She looked away. I thought I could manage it. I didn't know he was using me too. People who play with fire, I said, don't get to claim surprise when they burn. She pressed her hands together. Please, Ayaan, I never meant to hurt you. Tensions don't erase impact, I said quietly. Her lip quivered. You've changed. Had to, I said. Pain's a strict teacher. Before she could reply, the intercom buzzed. Mr. Khan, security needs you in the parking area. Urgent. Stay here. She reached for my hand. Please don't hate me. I don't, I said, pulling back. I just stopped pretending you're who I thought you were. Outside, the sun glared off car hoods. Ayaan was there, pacing, shouting at 2 security guards. There he is. He yelled when he saw me. The genius who thinks he's some secret heir? I walked closer. Careful, Ayaan. Words sound louder when you're falling. You framed me. He barked. You planted that evidence. I smiled. If I did, why did your own emails agree with me? You think this makes you some kind of hero? No, I said. Just someone who finished his job. He stepped forward, fist clenched. The guards blocked him. Saad appeared near the entrance. Let it go, Ayaan. It's over. It's not over until I say it is, Ayaan shouted. I looked at him calmly. You already said enough. Now the company and karma will finish the rest. He glared one last time before the guards escorted him away. His voice faded into the hum of vengeance. Saad turned to me. You handled that well. I didn't handle it, I said. The truth did. He nodded. The audit team found something else you should see this? We walked back upstairs. Lena met us at the door, a printout in her hand. You're not going to like this. What now? I asked. She hesitated. One of the diverted payments went to a luxury villa, labeled as a work retreat. I frowned. Who's booking? She looked at me carefully. Mira's name is on it. Paid through Rayan's department funds. Saad handed me the page. Looks bad on paper, even if she didn't know. I stared at the document. And if she did, then karma's punctual, he said. I exhaled slowly. Thank you both. I'll handle it. When I returned to my office, Mira was standing by the window. I saw them whispering, she said. It's about that villa, isn't it? Yes, I said. Was it your idea or his? Her hands trembled. It was supposed to be a team event. Ayaan said the company approved it. I didn't question him. Of course you didn't, I said. That would have required doubt, and you only reserved that for me. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I didn't know the money came from fake accounts, Ayaan. You have to believe me. I looked at her. Really looked. The same eyes that once felt like home now looked lost. Belief isn't the problem, Mira. Character is. She shook her head. You think I'm a monster? No, I said softly. Just weak. And weakness breaks hearts faster than betrayal. She stepped closer. Please, can we start over? I stepped back. You had your chance when all I had was a small ring and an honest heart. Her voice cracked. I was stupid. Oh, maybe, I said. But you were sure. You called me small in front of everyone. That's something money can't fix. She covered her face and sobbed. I waited, not out of cruelty, but closure. After a while, I said, You'll be fine. You always land on your feet. She looked up. And you. I don't land anymore, I said. I stand, she whispered. You've changed too much. I smiled faintly. No, I just stopped kneeling. I walked past her. The air between us, colder than truth. Behind me, her sobs faded into the sound of my watch ticking steady. Calm, merciless. For the first time, sadness didn't drown me. It cleaned me, and somewhere deep down karma smiled. The week felt like a storm finally losing strength. One by one, Rayan's allies vanished from the system, terminated, suspended, replaced. The boardroom buzzed with meetings and signatures, justice moving through paperwork. Saad stood beside me after another long session. That's the last of them, he said. All 3 contracts voided and legal letters sent. I nodded. Good. The company can breathe again. He smiled faintly. You don't look relieved. Not, I said. Cleaning dirt isn't victory. It's hygiene. He laughed softly. Still poetic, even with blood on the floor. Someone has to be, I said. Lena knocked on the open door. Can we talk? Saad excused himself with a knowing look. Lena stepped inside, holding a resignation letter. I failed to catch it sooner. The system trusted me and I missed the signs. I can't stay. I took the paper and placed it back on her desk. You're staying. She looked stunned. Ayaan, you warned me months ago, I said. You noticed when others didn't. You don't resign for not shouting louder. You stay to rebuild stronger. Her eyes softened. You really believe we can rebuild? We already are, I said. You're part of why it'll work this time. She smiled slightly. Then I'll stay. But only if you promise to rest occasionally. I'll consider it, I said, half smiling. She rolled her eyes. That means never. Maybe, I said. But at least now, it'll be for something worth losing sleep over. By noon, the office felt different, calmer, lighter. Noor was standing at the front of the meeting room, rehearsing slides. Ready? I asked, stepping in. She turned nervously. Almost. I'm not used to speaking in front of everyone. You don't need to perform, I said. Just speak like you cared. You do? She nodded, taking a breath. Okay. When the employees gathered, Noor began the ethics presentation. Her voice started shaky, but steadied with every line. She said, We can't fix yesterday's lies, but we can stop them from becoming tomorrow's habits. Watch the room fall silent. Every word landed like truth, should simple, sharp, and real. When it ended, the team applauded. Noor looked shocked. I leaned close and whispered, That's leadership. She smiled shyly. I didn't think I had it in me. Most good leaders don't, I said. Until someone lets them try. Back in my office, I called her in again. She walked in, still flushed from the applause. Did I do okay? You did more than okay, I said. You reminded people why they work here. She smiled. That's kind of the point, right? It is, I said. And it's why you're now the lead designer. Her eyes widened. Wait me? You've earned it, I said. Talent needs recognition, not permission. She blinked, stunned. Thank you, sir. Don't thank me, I said. Thank your own courage. When she left, I looked out the window. The sun glared against the glass towers opposite ours, and for once, I didn't see reflections of failure, just growth. That evening, Hira appeared at the door, holding 2 steaming cups. You didn't answer your phone, she said. So I brought tea myself. I smiled. I didn't know CEOs still get tea from their sisters. Only the ones who forget to eat, she said, handing me a cup. Everyone's proud of you, Bai, Mama cried, watching your name on the news. I chuckled. She always cries. She said, he finally became the man his father dreamed of. Hira said softly. I looked down. That's a heavy compliment. Then wear it, she said. You've earned the weight. She hugged me, warm and grounding. Proud of you, Bai, she whispered. Thank you, I said, voice catching more than I wanted it to. After she left, the office felt quiet again. Just the hum of computers and the city breathing outside. The knock came just before dusk. I didn't need to look to know who it was. Mira stepped inside, clutching the old ring box. She looked smaller somehow, like pride had deflated her. I didn't think you'd let me in, she said. I almost didn't, I admitted. She walked closer, holding out the box. I came to return this. I folded my arms. Or to reopen the past. Her eyes glistened. No. I came because I realized what I lost. I was wrong, Ayaan, about everything. You didn't change, I did. I chose fear over love. I said nothing. The air between us did the talking. She placed the box on my desk. I choose you now. I looked at her quietly. No, Mira, you're choosing my crown, not my heart. She shook her head. That's not true. It is, I said softly. You loved the man you could display, not the one who struggled. Now that the world claps for me, suddenly, I'm enough. Her voice broke. I was scared, Ayaan. So was I said. But I didn't sell my soul to feel safe. Tears rolled down her face. Can't you forgive me? I already have, I said. Forgiveness isn't the same as return. She looked down. I don't deserve even that. Maybe not, I said gently, but I still wish you peace. I picked up the ring box and pressed it into her hand. Keep it. Let it remind you of who you once had. She hesitated. And you? I don't need reminders, I said. I live them. She turned slowly and left, the sound of her heels fading down the hall. I walked out to the balcony. The city below pulsed with light alive, restless, honest. The wind carried faint echoes of traffic and laughter, symphony of people still chasing something. Saad's words from weeks ago echoed in my mind, patience wins wars. He was right, but victory had its price. Power, I realized. It was heavier than heartbreak, but at least this weight fit right on my shoulders. I whispered, this is what it costs. And for the first time, it didn't feel like loss. Asterisk the bell above the small jewelry shop chimed as I pushed the door open. The same faint smell of polish and metal lingered. The same counter, the same cracked mirror behind it. The old shopkeeper looked up, smiling like time had never moved. Ah, the young man with the simple ring. How's life treating you? Better than I deserve, I said. Do you remember this? I placed the small ring box on the counter. He opened it carefully, eyes softening. I remember. You said love didn't need weight, just meaning. Turns out meaning wasn't enough, I said, smiling faintly. He nodded slowly. So what should I do with it? Keep it, I said. Gift it to a couple who pays with kindness instead of cash. He chuckled. That's a rare currency these days. Maybe that's why it's valuable, I said. He examined the ring under the light. You know, it's not much in price, but it's honest work. I made this one myself. I can tell, I said. That's why it never lost its shine. He looked up at me. You're different now. Heavier eyes, lighter heart. Something like that, I said. Thank you for the reminder that real things don't glitter. He nodded. Be kind to yourself, son. I'm learning, I said. I left the shop with empty hands, but a quiet mind. Back at the office. The halls no longer echoed with gossip, just quiet footsteps and steady purpose. Lena was waiting near the conference table. We finalized the new vendor policy, she said. Good, I said. Add quarterly transparency reports and anonymous audits. No one hides behind titles anymore. She smiled. You sound like Saad. It's rubbing off on me, I said. Speaking of him, Saad entered a moment later, holding a folder. I heard you wanted to discuss the new fund. Yes, I said. I want to create a scholarship program in my mother's name. For employees, families. Education should never depend on luck. He nodded approvingly. A legacy, rooted in learning. She'd be proud. I looked at the photo frame on my desk, a faded picture of her holding my hand outside an old apartment. I hope so. Saad placed the folder down. You've turned this place around, Ayaan. Not just the books, the people. I smiled. That's what rebuilding really means. He grinned. And here I thought you were only chasing justice. I was, I said. Now I'm chasing peace. Later that evening, as the sun dipped behind the skyline, I walked through the lobby. Noor stood near the glass doors, a sketchpad tucked under her arm. She smiled when she saw me. Heading out? Yeah, I said. You? Almost, she replied. I was just watching everyone leave. It feels different now, like the air's clean. It is, I said. We cut out the noise. She nodded. I like this new place we're building. I paused. Me, too. She tilted her head. You look lighter. Maybe I finally dropped the wrong weight, I said. She laughed softly. Whatever it was, keep it off. I plan to, I said. As she left, I watched her reflection fade into the glass. The lobby lights hummed softly, steady and calm, the sound of balance returning outside. The evening breeze carried the smell of rain and dust. I loosened my tie and looked up at the skyline, its tall towers glowing like promises that didn't need to be broken. I checked my watch. For years it had felt heavy, as if measuring disappointment instead of time. But now it ticked lightly, almost forgivingly. "I'm not broke," I whispered. "Just free." The words sounded strange, but true. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't chasing approval, revenge, or love. I was simply okay. And as I walked away from the building that once held all my battles, I realized I finally liked the man I'd become, the one who had nothing left to prove and everything left to live for.